Porn use and migraines. What's the connection? If you struggle with migraines, there's a very specific dysfunctional brain pattern at the core of recurring migraine headaches. Now, that dysfunctional brain pattern is highly associated with what porn does to your brain. So, if you have headaches and you watch porn, you want to watch this video so you can find out how to get rid of those headaches forever. I'm Dr. Trish Leigh. I'm a certified brain health and sex addiction recovery coach. So these two things go together, and I want you to know how. So let's start out with porn use. If you have a consistent, frequent, and especially intense porn habit that you might even consider to be a compulsion or an addiction, what that does is it dysregulates your brain. What dysregulate means is it takes your brain out of the optimal brain performance pattern and it moves it into a pattern that creates challenges. So we know from lots of science that a porn habit, they call it problematic porn use can influence your brain so that you experience anxiety, depression, mental health issues, physical health issues, most importantly, SAD, sexual arousal dysfunction, erectile dysfunction, delayed or premature ejaculation. All of these are associated with the dysfunctional brain pattern that porn causes. We also know that it creates relationship issues because of anger and irritability. It can create challenges with focus. So, that dysregulated, dysfunctional brain pattern can create a lot of problems. Headaches, and especially intense migraine headaches that literally feel like pain in your brain, is one of those physical issues that comes along from the neurological dysregulation. So, let me tell you what porn does to your brain. It puts your brain in what I call the pendulum effect. What that means is your brain uses too much fast speed and too much slow speed. Now, what's important about this is that what the science behind migraine shows is that this too much fast speed, it's called high beta. It it resonates, it uses a hertz 21 to 30 hertz frequency, very fast high electrical energy in your brain. It basically is the speed of anxiety, of hyper arousal, of always being on red alert, of having lots of racing thoughts, of vigilance or hypervigilance. This extra fast speed, it is what is at the core of migraine headaches. It's a brain that's moving too fast that can actually create pain in the brain. Now, the second aspect of what the scientific studies show that the migraine brain dysregulated brain pattern is, it's the first aspect is high beta, the second aspect is too low of the medium speed called alpha. So, alpha is the speed of calm. It's the speed of brain recovery. It's the speed your brain uses when you're meditating or when you're present and being mindful. Clearly, the total opposite of what happens when you're using lots of high beta. So, too much high beta, not enough alpha. That's the migraine headache brain pattern. That's what porn does to your brain. So, if you've heard me talk before, porn gets you caught in a 4D dopamine cycle. What that means is you get a dopamine drip in your brain. It makes your brain feel good. You move towards porn for the deluge, the flood. It drowns your brain out. And while you're in a porn session, you feel great. But afterwards, there's the dopamine deficit. Dopamine deficit means too little of alpha. There's a cortisol spike, the hormone of stress and anxiety, in during that dopamine deficit. That is a high beta spike. So, what porn use does is you feel good while you're in the screen, but when you're away from the screen, then your brain is in this dysfunctional pattern, too fast, too slow, the pattern that can lead to migraine headaches. Now, not every single person who has a migraine headache watches porn, clearly, but most people who have migraine headaches have this brain pattern, and porn makes this brain pattern be effective for a lot of people and it can make it worse for others. So if you do watch porn and you do struggle with migraine headaches, if it's not causing it, it's contributing to frequency and intensity of those headaches. It is related. So what can you do about it? Well, My hope for you is that you're able to come out of the screen so that you don't need porn anymore. When you do that, you basically eradicate that 4D dopamine cycle of porn addiction. What that does is it resets your baseline arousal back to the healthy, optimal brain pattern. If you're lucky, because what happens is your brain can unwire itself from the screen, but it doesn't always rewire itself. But unwiring is a start. If you need help in rewiring, there's programs that help you do that. I offer a program called Porn Brain Rewire that effectively helps you unwire and rewire your brain back to that healthy status. It's necessary to address the underlying brain patterns so you can feel and perform better long term. So, the start, stay away from porn. Find a way, and if you can't do it yourself, recognize it can be done. It is just very challenging because porn is highly addictive, but it is contributing to the dysregulated brain pattern that is making you feel and perform worse than you would without porn. Step number one, unwire. Step two, rewire your brain so that you can feel and perform better forever. What the studies show is that after you have a program of brain rewiring, it'll catch the flywheel and your brain will be able to use that new, healthier brain pattern into the future. So, if you want more information, please go over to drtrishleigh.com. This is what I specialize in helping people with. And until next time, control your brain or it'll control you.